What is one of the worst ways to die? Something like the Nutty Putty incident. Being eaten alive for sure. I saw a freaky video last week of a boar in the wild being eaten alive by lions. They were eating it from the back end and it was still alive, unable to move, but felt everything. By the time they got to its organs and started eating those, it let out a crying wail for a good solid 3 minutes before its sounds attracted more lions, which started to eat it from the front end, which was merciful after they got to its throat and severed its spinal cord. Nature is actually fucking scary. Being steamed to death. So burning to death is pretty bad, right? But if you're steamed, the water vapor burns you alive. But because unlike fire, which doesn't burn away the nerve endings, so eventually 4th degree burns become painless, you get to feel it all until the bitter end. Ida. Eventually the nerves would die, but long after you felt your insides being cooked. The brazen bull, flayed alive. There are accounts of people being boiled to death in large pots of oil as punishment. Our ancestors had some very dark ideas. Falling off a cliff while trying to take a cool selfie for IG. The whole way down, just be thinking about how you're going to be remembered as a fucking moron. Burning to death has to be up there. Someone once posted about how cattle farms collect pools of cow shit to be used as fertilizer. A drunk guy once fell in and drowned. His body wasn't recovered until months later. That isn't exactly going gently into that good night. Hanging. People who hang themselves never do it correctly. The neck does not break. They are strangled to death and die threshing and fighting the body's automatic response to stay alive. The suicide disease. A diagnosis of trigeminal neuralgia (TGN), commonly nicknamed suicide disease, means unpredictable bouts of severe pain that makes everyday living unbearable. Every aspect of life becomes shrouded in currents of unrelenting shocks to the face, causing both physical and mental anguish. My psychology teacher told us this story about a boy who had come to him because he was having trouble with the bathroom. His parents said they had gone to doctors, and they hadn't found anything, so they went to a psychologist. He tried to help him, but nothing really worked. A short while later, the boy died due to a fecal impaction. From then on, this psychologist always made sure to tell the parents to be absolutely sure with the doctors. It may not be the most painful way, but it certainly is one way I would not want to die. Last week, a guy working on an oil rig in the middle of the ocean posted a clip of himself tossing rotten meat over the railing. At first there wasn't a creature in sight, but as soon as the meat hit the water, a dozen sharks came to the surface. Apparently they recognize these oil rigs as a source of food since the workers always toss their scraps overboard and lurk near them. Now imagine one of the workers falling from the oil rig quite high up and into the water. If you survived, you would have multiple broken bones and you would be in excruciating pain. Then the sharks would surface. Eaten by a bear. They don't kill you. They just incapacitate you and then start eating you. Seeing all the people you love die before you and knowing you will live completely alone for a long time. Like the punishment in the Green Mile. Machine deaths have always freaked me out the most. Getting crushed or grinded up by soulless factory machinery sounds like a horrific way to go. It doesn't care that you're not supposed to be there. It is built to execute a task and it will do just that. Even worse for the poor co-workers that have to witness it or stumble across what remains of your body. Rabies? Those men who got stuck in the pipes under the sea at an oil rig seem like one of the worst ways to go. Anything slow? Some people on here may list crazy things, but at least they are mostly fairly quick. Stream rollers starting from the feet. Same with a wood chipper. Drowning whilst also being on fire. To be spilt in half slowly inch by inch.